All right, if you don't know me, I'm the Director of Solutions Engineering at Element451. My name is Brendan Hinkle. I probably look a lot taller in person as opposed to on video, but I'm really excited to be here with you all today. We have some exciting sessions for you this afternoon, starting off with a really exciting one from our Chief Design Officer, Tai Fujimura. He is going to be showing you a lot around the student portals that we talked about. Who got excited about student portals during the product keynote? Anyone? Exactly. Very exciting stuff, and we want to kick off doing a deeper dive for you right from the jump. So Tai is going to be in here, come out here now, and he's going to be giving you that deeper dive that you need. So Tai, come on out here.
All right. Is this thing on? We're good? Okay. Thank you, Brendan. As Brendan said, I'm Tai. I'm the Chief Design Officer at Element451. And I'm really excited today to share with you a feature that we've been working on for some time. But it's really more than a feature. It's really a new interface for all of the features we already have within Element. So let's dig in. All right, great. So yeah, just to kick us off, I want to remind you all of why we're here. We're here because we care about you being able to serve your students. We know that that is your mission and your passion, and we're passionate about being a part of that with you. And that's why we get so excited about features like this. Here's the problem that we're trying to solve with this new addition to our product suite. Who here kind of serves current students as a main part of their job? Okay, a good amount. Okay, good. Hopefully this is familiar to you. Or maybe hopefully not. Today's students are bombarded with information and platforms. They have so many places they need to go to look for stuff and remember things. When I was a teenager, I had no ability to handle anything like that. At NYU, when I was about to graduate, someone gave me a sheet of paper and they said, go have your advisor sign this sheet of paper. And I said, I have an advisor? I'm sure I missed like several dozen emails about that. But you know how it is. Teenagers are not known for being organized. We need to help them do that. Hence, student portals. I literally just pulled this slide from the product keynote because I liked it so much, just to remind us all why we're here for you, creating personal connections between students and schools. Student portals is a new way to do that. It is a new student-centric interface for Element, and it will primarily be used as a mobile app because students are mostly using phones. It will also be available on desktop, but we're designing it to be tailored to the mobile experience. This goes beyond features that we have already, like microsites that allow students to access some of their information or the application portal. It's going to be a complete student-centric interface for all of the features that are in Element. It's going to be easy to activate and administer for your school. There's no App Store approval. You can set it up in about 5 minutes. And it's going to be a new platform on which we build all of our AI-powered innovations that like the ones that you just saw in the keynote. And this is our first public announcement of this platform, so we're really excited to share it with you. The key features of the application will lead with AI, of course, because it's Element. It includes Bolt Discovery. It includes a full live chat interface. It will also include course support. Oh, sorry, I repeated that. It will have easy access for students to the resources that are within Element that have to do with them. So as you know, as administrators, when you go into Element, you can see all sorts of things. Many of those things actually are relevant to students, but there may not be a way right now for them to log in and see that information. So that's why we're creating this app. So we'll have events, appointments, courses, tasks, and relationships. We're also building a notification queue that will allow you to reach out proactively with students to make sure they know about things like their advisors. It will be branded to your school using all the settings that you already have within Element, your logo, your colors, etc., and totally self-administered by you. You don't have to deal with the App Store process. So we're going to jump into a demo now and make sure that the right window comes up. There we go. So this is the home screen of the app, as we were just looking at. The home screen is kind of a summary of the key information that the student, that's most relevant to the student at this moment. And we intend over time to make this like a sort of like an activity feed for them, where we're going to try to surface the stuff that they're probably looking for when they open the app. Here at the top, we're featuring Bolt Discovery, which we just talked about in the product keynote. And we have a full mobile interface for Bolt Discovery. So this will allow students to conduct search as if they were in your website, but from this mobile app instead. Within the application, the key area is going to be this Resources tab. Within Resources are all the things that I just mentioned, led by courses. Artis was just talking about how we are building out broader, more powerful support for courses within Element. We're integrating that extensively with our AI suite. So students will be able to, if you have your course systems synced with Element, or your course data in Element, students will be able to log in and see their current, future, and past courses, and be able to click through to your website or other locations to see more information about those courses. So this can be an invaluable tool for students to explore and understand the courses that they need to be taking. Getting into some of the other resources, this is an easy way for students to find the events that they have already signed up for, which means that when they're on their way to the event, they're going to be able to easily pull up that address or figure out where they're supposed to be and when. That will also be tied in with notifications, of course, so you can hopefully help get students to actually show up to events better than before. We're going to list their appointment links, so if they have appointments booked with a counselor, again, they can see those in one easy place. They can't lose that link. They can easily figure out what time that is and get notified so that they don't forget. Then tasks. So this is the first time we're showing this functionality, but we want to make it so that you can actually assign tasks to students. And this will be the primary way that students will be able to look at the tasks that are assigned to them. So this means that you as a counselor, when you're trying to support a student, you can actually give them the specific guidance about what they need to do. And you can build out a playbook of the different steps that they need to take in order to be successful at your institution. Or you could even make a task for one specific student who maybe needs specific help in a certain area. Then relationships. So in Element already, you have relationships defined between different profile types. And this will surface those relationships that are relevant to the student who's using the app. So they can easily find all the key people in their campus life and look up their information at a glance. Then we have our live chat interface, and I think you're all fairly familiar with this, so I won't go into it in detail. But this full interface will be replicated within the app, so the student doesn't have to go to your website. They can easily just open up that app and start a conversation here. That obviously interacts really nicely with things like the notifications, because then they'll be able to get those notifications right on their phone. And also with the new voice AI features that Petter was just demonstrating. This will be a really great way for a student to quickly hop onto their phone, use their voice to ask a quick question without even having to type it out and get a voice response. I use that kind of experience in ChatGPT all the time. I'm sure many of you do. And it's a really great and convenient way to get information. Also, I should mention, all of this data is the actual data that's in Element for this student. So it's not like there's different data that's in the app that you have to make sure is maintained or kept in a certain way. The student's conversation history, all the way from the website before they were even a student, will be available within the same location. So that, actually I shouldn't say that will be perfect, but we'll do our best. So we'll try to stitch together all of that information. So your view of the student is going to match what they see within the app, and that will help everyone stay organized. Here are our notifications. So you can see that the student will get a list of notifications, like a lot of apps, like social media apps and so on. And they can click on those to read them and be brought to the correct place within the app to follow up on that notification. But we also would like to build a push notification system like a traditional mobile app so that you can actually use the Student Portals app as a new communication channel for your students. So if you're sending a campaign or you're trying to encourage signups for an event, that kind of thing, you will be able to actually push a message out to all of your students who have the app installed locally and be able to reach them in a totally new way. And lastly here within the demo, the student will be able to review the information, a specific subset of the information that your school has on their profile within Element. But one very important thing to note is that they won't be able to edit anything unless we decide to make that possible and you decide that you want it. But we have a principle in designing this app that we don't want to make it so that the student will be able to accidentally make changes that you don't want, or to be able to surprise you with any changes. So coming back in here, I mentioned it's going to be extremely easy for your schools to set up the portals. And so what it's going to mean is basically you just log into your Element instance, you press a few buttons, and you will have a live portals link. You'll also be able to add a custom subdomain or vanity URL to that so students can access it more easily. And the way it's going to work is that when a student goes to the Student Portals interface, they will be able to fully use everything that I just showed you as a web application within their regular browser. But they will also be able to download and install that application to their home screen, and that will be to sort of simulate what a native app experience would be like, but without all of the challenges of managing an app that's in the app stores. So that's where we're at right now. And that demo that I just showed you, I should have said before, is pre-release. This is stuff we're working on literally right now. We're intending to ship to you later this year. And after that suite of functionality is live and your students are able to do those things, we just want to build from there because we see this as a pivotal sort of pillar in the Element ecosystem. So now not only do you have your whole existing application that allows you to interact with the data, but students will have their own interface to do the same, and that can be very powerful. So two things that I want to call out in particular are forms and the notification channel. So I mentioned this briefly before, but on the left here, you can see what it could look like to have forms available within the application. And so that means that when you publish a form, you don't have to just embed it on a website and share a link to that form. You can actually put it directly within the portal, and then you can instruct any students who need to fill out that form for whatever purpose to go there and do so. And that will continue to get upgraded as we add more options to the forms, like payments and things like that. That functionality will continue to be available here. On the right, you can see a mock-up of what it would look like for us to add push notifications as a channel. We're very excited about that option. And just to make sure I say it, this is all pre-release, this is concepts, but that's part of my job, is coming up with these ideas for you. And we also invite you to help us by giving us feedback from your perspectives about what you need in student success. I'll just touch on a couple key highlights here that I want to make sure come across. You're in control. We're not going to make it so that students can change data in the CRM. We're going to make sure that you can turn on or off the features within the application that you want, so you're providing students with the experience that you believe is right for their situation. The app is self-installed. Like I said, it won't go through the App Store process. The branding will be automatically applied from the way that your instance is set up in Element, and you can potentially tweak it from there, we're hoping. And this is full integration. Like I said, this is not some second set of data. This is a lens on the full Element database that's tailored to students. So what that means is that we're going to try to make it so that students increasingly have a single place that they can go when it comes to connecting with your institution. So tying that back to our original mission, we're here because we want to make those interactions as seamless and simple as possible for your students. And we believe that this application is going to be a key part of us being able to do that. We want to make it so that students feel like they always know where to turn. They always know where to turn when it comes to interacting with your school or getting help. That they always feel like they know who the right person to talk to is, and when they don't, there's AI that's ready to assist them. And hopefully they don't not realize that they have an advisor like me. So here's our process for how we're rolling this out. As of today, you can ask us if you would like to test this feature. I have one yes already. That's amazing. If you would like to test this with us, like I said, this is in active development, so you should expect there to be bugs and problems, but we would love for you to be on this journey with us as we get this ready for full release. So select schools will have test this with us. Those schools just have to configure some settings and then publicize to students or to a maybe subset of students if they wish. And like I said, we're expecting to roll this out later this year, especially with your help, and are really appreciative all the time of your input, because we want to make sure that we're serving your students the way that you want them to be served. And that's it for what I wanted to show. I wanted to leave plenty of time for questions, or if there's anything within the demo that you would like me to go back and look at. Yeah, are we ready with another mic? Okay, great.
I think this is amazing. One thing that I'm seeing here, and ties back to the last presentation where we were looking at the AI integration in the portals moving forward for students. We're in the process of building a single sign-on portal for our students anyway as it is. So it'd be amazing if that could be integrated into this. So like, let's say a student is looking for course information in Canvas, and they ask that question, that would pop up and they could just click right into Canvas and just continue to move it all through. And that's, again, that's for us, it's Canvas, it's self-service for them to do registration. Again, it all ties back into the one place for the students to go to get everything they need for the college.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, we have, generally our principle is that we would like Element to be the communication hub for everything at your institution. So as we talk about a lot, we want to have an extremely extensive suite of integrations to make it possible for you to connect all the different tools that you use in a way like that. So the way that this particular application goes, maybe we should talk a little bit more about your specific use case and see like how it can fit into that picture. But the principle is that we want everything we build to be flexible to your institutional needs, because we know that each of you have a very specific like cocktail of stuff that you have to factor in, and so that's why we try to make things really flexible and integrated. One thing I should mention is that when it comes to things like courses, right now that like at the launch of this new application, likely that would be like a read-only experience where that's, you know, the student would be able to see their current courses but not register for courses. That's another type of thing that we would love to be looking at in the future is, yeah, exactly, yeah, making it possible to do pass-through registration like that. So, yeah, go ahead. We have one back here? Okay.
So trailing on a previous question, I think there was more of a, do you anticipate having single sign-on to connect? So a lot of times our students get frustrated because they have to, you know, bounce around applications from a login standpoint. CCBC has implemented single sign-on. We have for a couple of years now, and that's really helpful to our students. Having a student portal that would sync into that single sign-on process would be super awesome.
Yeah, so the question was about whether it would be possible to use single sign-on to get into the portal. Is that right? Yes, that will be the case, yeah. So that will be one of the ways that students can actually get access to the portals, yeah. Down here?
Yes, I just wanted to provide some support for questions.
Oh, good, okay, great. I'll give you at least one.
Is there, or what does it look like, a staff portal where they log in and see all the students that are assigned to them and what activity they've had, whether now, you know, you have 5 students that registered yesterday, you have 4 students that exceed the recommended amount of credit hours, you have, you know, 10 students with these low GPAs, those types of things. Is that available? So they could see specific to their assigned students.
Yeah, I can answer initially, and then maybe Artis has some thoughts too. So our focus for the counselor experiences in the main Element application, a lot of the things that I showed you here are things that we're in the process of building out kind of on both sides. So you should expect to see a lot more updates when it comes to, you know, courses, for example, and grades and things like that in the future as we build out the application. But we're looking at them as kind of 2 sides of the coin. So when we build something out on the student side, we want to have kind of matching functionality on the counselor side so they're able to actually take advantage of the fact that the student has that visibility.
We have another question over here yet?
No, that's a great, on the AI for student success, we're going to talk a little bit more about, you know, how this fits into that vision.
Okay, so from a recruiting standpoint, I know currently this is for current students, but would this be available to use as a recruiter? For example, like on the tasks page that you showed us, it was like attend an orientation or attend a welcome event. Those are things that like we use as indicators to know that the recruited students who are admitted are coming.
Yeah, so totally. We made a decision in the process of building this out that we needed to focus on one use case, or I mean, it's really a bundle of use cases, because this is our first foray into this type of interface. But we're right there with you. We want to build out whatever interface is most appropriate for everyone who's interacting with your school. So this is starting out as a current student tool, but we can easily envision it being extended out to support admissions and to support alumni as well in the future, or you know, people other than students who have a stake in the student's experience, like parents and things like that. So yeah, but we want to make sure that everyone who needs or who could benefit from having access to this information can, and that any of those AI innovations that we're building into the product easily extend to all of those different audiences. And there's one thing I realized I forgot to say, which is one key aspect of why we want to do this is because it gives each of those users a hub and a home to use Element. And that means that it's easier for you to see their activity in one place, because we're going to be able to very reliably, you know, look at all of that information and feed that back into their profile. So all of the AI tools are going to have the full context and access to their record, and then any activity that they're doing within the app can feed future AI insights.
Hi. First of all, this is amazing. I'm excited. Can't wait. Second, though, the interface with the courses, obviously most of us have an authoritative source which is our SIS, is that going to be dynamic or static, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, so the way I would put it is that we're building sort of first-class support for all of the data that you would need to store within Element or want to store within Element when it comes to courses. And then parallel to that, we're building a set of integrations that will allow you to bring your data in from the common systems where that data is already living. And that's why it's a hard problem, because there's lots of different systems. They all do things differently. They have different terminology and ways of looking at that problem. So it's a big thing, but it's something we are really determined to do because that gives you a really clear picture of where the student is at. Yeah, and it changes daily. Yeah, exactly. Artis, do you have any?
Yeah, so we're, just like we do integrations right now, real-time two-way integrations between Element and the SIS, we're hoping to do exactly the same thing for the courses and registrations. And during the AI for student success, we kind of lay out how those course models will look like and what they're, how they're going to work. So, so if you come to that session, we'll dive a little deeper into that.
So, again, wow. This isn't a portal. It's a communications hub. It's something else. I don't know what you call this. But there are all kinds of applications, and I don't know where we start or stop with them, from emergency notification systems. We spend a lot of money to send out, there's a hurricane coming. So this could offset that. I'm trying to get to a question in this.
No, I love this.
But
Keep going.
I
Keep
think
going. This is
like
good
you've
stuff.
created a big, most of us are from the enrollment side or marketing side, and now we have the burden of navigating this communications infrastructure with all these other internal stakeholders within the college. So that's a unique task for us in deploying this. It's not necessarily CIO or instruction or operations, it's all of those. So welcome, enrollment team. We are now the communications hub, right?
Yeah, that's very true. And while our software can't help you solve that problem, what we want to do is just give each of your institutions the ultimate flexibility in how you want to put together your tools. And we want to make it so that when you show people this tool, it's inherently compelling, right? So we want to make it so that if you're trying to justify a use case that maybe is handled currently by another tool, it's easy for you to demo it, it works really well, it integrates all the AI stuff, and it becomes kind of like a no-brainer. So, we see our job as just giving you hard decisions, but yeah, I appreciate that insight, because that's something we need to keep in mind all the time, is we're not, anything new that we do, there's probably something that's filling that niche right now, and we need to give you the right tools so that you can make that justification. So.
Hey, so with the integrations, we'll be able to real-time those task lists without having to rely on someone else to punch the button to say, yes, I did this. Could we set up the triggers?
Could you repeat that one more time?
So with the integration, if we were able to integrate into it and identify the markers in our student information system to say when someone has checked off a step in the task list?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay. I can't answer that because that's maybe more of a technical question, but I would definitely hope so. Our goal with all of the integrations is to make it really, really extensive. And one thing I realized I forgot to show you is that the student can actually check off those tasks from within Element. So we would love for the tasks that are there to be a source of truth and to be integrated and synced with everything that you're using. But I won't make any promises because Petter might kill me. So he works hard enough.
The Petter promise. Hey.
The Petter, oh wow.
Petter magic.
He gets the Petter stamp of approval to power too?
I don't know.
All right. We got to let Petter know that we're promising things up here. Awesome. Ty, thanks so much. Let's give a round of applause for Ty.